Va fi sau nu un război mai amplu în Orientul Mijlociu? Regiunea este de foarte mulți ani cea mai instabilă de pe glob, dar situația din prezent atinge cote noi de pericol. Războiul din Fâșia Gaza este departe de a fi închis. Atacurile Hezbollah și ale rebelilor Houthi din Yemen se adaugă în ecuație, iar Iranul este furios pentru uciderea liderului Hamas chiar în capitala Teheran. Ce urmează și ce explicații are Israel pentru toate aceste situații? Vorbim cu Reuven Azar, ambasadorul acestei țări la București, aflat la final de misiune. Sunt Cristina Cileacu, începe Pașaport diplomatic. Reuven Azar, Ambassador of Israel, welcome for the last time in this capacity to Diplomatic Passport. You are leaving your mission in Romania soon.
Thank you, Stena, for inviting me, and I thank you for this interview.
Ambassador, we record this interview on the 7th of August. Today is 10 months since Hamas attacked Israel, and Israel is waiting or expecting now to be attacked again by Iran and Hezbollah and others. What do you think is going to happen?
Well, it's up to the aggressors to decide how aggressive they want to be. We've made very clear that the free lunch time of Iran is over, that any attack coming from Iran will be retaliated. You know, following the 7th of October, something changed in the region because this atrocious attack has shown that Israel cannot continue living with this kind of threat, and we had to take action. So we have managed to cut one of the tentacles of Iran, and it's up to the Iranians to decide whether they want us to cut additional tentacles. We don't want war, but we will not stand by while we are being attacked.
Israel showed us that it can kill a lot of terrorist leaders all over other countries in the neighborhood. Why is doing so?
Well, first of all, Israel had said at the outset, our leaders have said, that we have two aims in this war: to eradicate the military capabilities of Hamas and to bring back our hostages. This terrorist organization has to be held accountable, and the people responsible for this terrible massacre will be held accountable. And we have said that we are going to find each and every one of the terrorists that were in charge of this massacre, and we're going to kill them. So this is not going to change. We are going to continue to pursue this policy, and nobody is going to stop us from doing that.
United States were quite, let's say, optimistic about getting an agreement when it comes to ceasefire in Gaza, and also for the negotiations with Hamas for releasing the Israeli hostages. But Israel killed Ismail Haniyeh in Tehran in a day when the Iranians were inaugurating their new president. Why was this moment chosen, and why in Iran?
Well, first of all, we haven't taken responsibility on what happened to Ismail Haniyeh in Tehran. Apparently, some Revolutionary Guard people were involved in the assassination, and the Iranians are investigating it. But this narrative that actually Hamas was ready to accept a deal, and the only thing that changed that is that Haniyeh died, is completely ridiculous. We have a clear path that we have devised, that was approved by the United States, that was approved by the UN Security Council. We haven't withdrawn from that path, from that to ceasefire, and we're going to continue to pursue it. Actually, the only reason why the Americans have become more optimistic is because of what we did in Gaza, because of the fact that despite the concerns of the international community, we did enter into Rafah. Despite the concerns of the international community, we actually did it pretty successfully with a minimal civilian cost, and we have taken
well, that minimal civilian cost, Ambassador, is being criticized all over the planet.
Well, no, actually, no. No, there's a difference between the civilian toll, that is a tragedy, but compared to other military urban warfare confrontations, is actually pretty low, especially when you compare it, for example, to Mosul or other places. But Rafah operation was actually even better than that, because in the Rafah operation, there was a minimal number of civilian casualties.
President Biden, after the killing of Ismail Haniyeh in Tehran, had a conversation with your Prime Minister, with Benjamin Netanyahu, and he wasn't very happy. So do you think that United States is, let's say, supporting this idea of killing around people in other countries?
I think the people are putting the focus on the wrong thing. Yes, there are concerns of escalation, and we understand, and we are listening very carefully to our partners, especially the United States, when they say that they don't want a regional war that is actually wider than what we have right now. I want to remind you, nobody provoked Hezbollah to launch attacks against Israel on the 8th of October. Okay? So those who are responsible for creating a regional war are the proxies of Iran. Nobody asked the Houthis to stop shipping in the Bab el-Mandab, in the Indian Ocean. So Israel is not interested in a war. Any democracy, especially Israel, that knows very well the price of wars, is not interested in creating or escalating into a war. But it doesn't mean that we're going to remain without a capability.
Only leads to escalation.
No. Look, what will lead to escalation is that if the Iranians decide they want to have a regional war, Israel will do whatever it needs in order to defend itself. And we have declared it very clearly. This is not an escalation in the way that we operate. We told at the beginning, after the 7th of October, that every leader, every of these terrorist organizations is going to be held accountable. So whoever doesn't want to cause an escalation, don't host them. Don't host terrorists, don't harbor terrorists, don't support terrorists. Then there will be zero escalation. So you cannot blame Israel for defending itself while this regime in Iran is, throwing havoc in the region, arming all these proxies with the developed weapons, actually going even with, outside the Middle East to supply weapons to the Russians. So when you are facing such a fundamentalist, fanatic, radical, theocratic force, are we going to just, in the name of de-escalation, allow it to do whatever they want? It's ridiculous.
And the other option is which one? To escalate and to create a
No,
war
the
in the
other
region?
option is to do whatever is necessary in order to defend ourselves.
Yeah, but
if we would have
in the region say that Israel only does what it wants and the others are being held accountable.
I'm not sure that this is their position, because we are seeing now, because of this attack by the Iranians, that the anti-Iranian coalition is working pretty well under American command. And what we are seeing is countries stating very clearly that they won't allow their territory to be breached by the Iranians. We are seeing preparations to create an air defense that will allow countries to defend themselves. So
that's only because nobody in the region wants war, but then again, that doesn't mean they support the idea of Israel killing around in other countries' various leaders.
Well, look, we are not going to ask permission to defend ourselves from anybody. Okay, we're going to do whatever is necessary to keep our security, and we have to be firm about it because we don't have any choice. Now, it would be very helpful if other countries would stop causing to the Iranians. Okay, you had an inauguration of a president in Iran. Okay,
which is supposed to be a moderate one.
Well, this is a joke, the fact that this guy is moderate. It's just a trick by the Iranians because they are feeling the heat. Okay, but this guy is going to serve the Ayatollah Khamenei just as others are serving him. It's no change in Iran. Okay, but in addition to that, you saw in Tehran the leader of the Taliban. Okay, all these radical Islamist leaders gathering in Iran, making a celebration. Okay, and you have a representative of the European Union participating. Why Iran is given legitimacy after it is doing what it's doing? If the international community is not going to put pressure on Iran to curb their policies and to create really moderate policies, then they are responsible for escalation. because Iran is going to continue escalating the situation, because Iran sees that the West is weak and that they can do whatever they want. In this case, when they do whatever they want, the result is that we are going to have to defend ourselves, and then you have escalation. So it's not only the responsibility of Israel. We have to be resolute as an international community, as a Western civilization, to defend ourselves from these barbaric forces that want to completely destroy us. The Iranians are saying they want to destroy Western civilization. They are talking about it. So enough is enough. We have to be focused in countering those who want to attack us, who want to kill us, and we have to be resolute about it. And we cannot expect from the really moderate side, which is Israel, the only democracy in the region, to avoid doing things that are essential for its survival.
Is Israel going to enter as well in the south of Lebanon? Because if you get attacked by Hezbollah, and these attacks are going to be heavier or more than they already are we going to see south of the Lebanon a similar situation like in Gaza?
So first of all, we are already attacked, and you've seen that very clearly since the 8th of October, and we saw it a couple of weeks ago when they massacred 12 innocent children in the village of Majid al-Shams. Okay? So we have said very clearly, we are not going to go to the status quo ante before the 8th of October or the 7th of October. We are not going to agree that 15,000 Radwan forces belonging to Hezbollah that are ready to invade Israel in any minute are going to stay in the border. So we have two options here. One option is to get a diplomatic solution. Envoy Amos Hochstein from the United States has been trying to reach such a solution that will actually get the Hezbollah forces to withdraw to the Litani River according to UN Security Council Resolution 1701. And if that fails, we will have to take care of that ourselves.
Meaning that you will enter Lebanon?
We will have no choice, because we have a situation in which 62,000 Israelis are being evacuated from the immediate border area, and they have a right to go back to their homes. So we will not rest until this is achieved in a safe manner.
What do you expect from Hamas now that they have a new leader? Sinwar started the attacks on the 7th of October, and now he's the leader of Hamas.
Hamas has to release all the hostages immediately.
But how, since the negotiations are dead?
If Hamas doesn't want to release the hostages and stop hostilities against Israel, Israel will continue the military operation.
Does Israel has any idea what is happening now with the hostages from Israel?
As you know, we have managed to release more than half of the hostages. Right now
but
we have...
the cost was big because a lot of civilians in Gaza were also killed when you released those people.
Of course, the cost of war is huge. And it is actually bigger because
Hamas... Does the life
Hamas...
of an Israeli weigh much more than a life of a Palestinian?
I didn't say that. But we have to hold responsible those who are in charge. What Hamas has done is to breach any rule in the book, any norm of humanity, in order not only to defend themselves and avoid an Israeli military victory, but to cause the highest number possible of Palestinian civilians dead. It was Ismail Haniyeh himself and other Hamas leaders that said that we need civilian casualties in order to bring the Palestinian issue on the agenda. So they have been acting from hospitals, all the impugned places. They have been transferring terrorists in the ambulances. They have done everything they can. So Israel actually, when defends itself, will not only target terrorists, but also civilians will die. So they are responsible for that. Israel is also responsible to the extent that we stick to international law. So all our targeting are military targetings. We have hundreds of lawyers that are overseeing every action of the Israel Defense Forces and approving every action that we take that it meets international law. So the Palestinian loss of life is a huge tragedy. It's a huge tragedy. And the civilian loss of life in Israel is a huge tragedy. We have to finish this war as soon as possible, And for that to happen, Hamas has to release all the Israeli hostages.
The Israeli services proved to the world, not only now but with other previous occasions, historical also, that they can point to the target and kill specific targets. How come they are not able to do the same in Gaza when you, for instance, released hostages?
Well, because not in all situations you can do exactly that. There are situations, like I mentioned before, take for example the Shifa hospital. It was a very famous example in which the Shifa hospital was taken hostage by Hamas and military operatives were acting from within the hospital. So when you have a situation in which a terrorist is hiding behind sick people, okay, you have a challenge. You just have to measure how much damage you are going to cause by doing that. So we, as I told you, are acting according to international law, and the reason why, by the way, in relative terms, the number of casualties compared to the number of terrorists is actually low compared to other conflicts, but this is the reason why civilian casualties are happening. So we hope very much that for the sake not only of us, but the sake of the Palestinian people, that Hamas will be eradicated, that they will no longer have the capability to rule the Gaza Strip, that they no longer will be able to take the civilian population hostage.
If the response of Iran and also the response from Hezbollah will be a tough one, everyone is waiting for their response after the killing of the Hezbollah leader in Beirut and the leader of Hamas in Tehran. Is Israel able to fight against Hezbollah? Hezbollah is not Hamas.
Yes.
As simple as that.
Yes, we have prepared for that kind of confrontation. Our forces are ready. We have enough plans. We have enough ammunition. We have all the tools that we need in order to counter any aggression from Hezbollah. And the question when and how to do it is a tactical decision that the government will have to make according to the opportunities that present themselves. At the end of the day, as I told you, it's not in our interest to have a war with Hezbollah. We would prefer a situation in which a diplomatic solution in the contours or in the description I gave you before is achieved.
How come the Israeli intelligence, again, proven that they are able to find responsibles for various killings and kill them on the territory of other states, were not able to discover the 7th of October attack? Is there any kind of answer 10 months after the attack?
Well, that's a great question. There's no doubt that we have failed not only from the intelligence point of view, but also from the operational point of view on the 7th of October. And this is something that the IDF forces have started to investigate themselves. This will be a process of investigation that formally probably will start once the war is over. Right now, the leaders that are leading this military effort are busy with it, so there's not much time to get into the investigation, but there's no doubt that we'll do a very thorough investigation. And first of all, those who are responsible will be held accountable. But most importantly, we'll have to draw the lessons from this failure, because in life, always learning from the lessons of your failures is a prerequisite to having a more successful situation in the future.
Ambassador, one of the reasons we are recording this interview is not only the waiting for the attack coming from Iran or the sad anniversary of the 7th of October, but it's also the fact that, as we said in the beginning, you are ending your mission here in Romania, preparing for a new one. What did you achieve? Because you had a very short mission here in Romania.
We have advanced our industrial military cooperation, which has huge potential. Elbit Systems is actually assembling here in Romania advanced drones for the Romanian army. We are now well positioned to, we have applied to other tenders with the intent of building more industries together with Romania here in this country, and I think this is a window of opportunity that we have to take advantage of. So we have started with that, we'll have to continue. We have done, other projects here, like advancing tourism, like working together on high tech to scale up startups. It's a program that is going to start soon. We have signed an agreement to supply wheat in emergency from Romania to Israel, and we are at the verge of approving Romania's veterinary services to export meat from Romania to Israel. So these are some of the things we've done since the beginning of the war, and the Romanian people have been willing at least to listen to us, unlike other countries in the world which our message is even not listened to and not received. So the fact that I'm able to talk to you, the fact that at least we are given the chance to present our position, is something that is very important. We appreciate it. I appreciate very deeply, and I want to thank the Romanian government and the Romanian people for hosting me during this time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Cristina.
Atât pentru astăzi, dar rămânem în continuare online pe pagina de Facebook a emisiunii și pe contul nostru de X. Revenim cu subiecte noi din lumea diplomației și a politicii externe, vinerea viitoare de la 11:30 și reluare sâmbătă după miezul nopții. La revedere!